Okay, it is just about dark. The sun is just about falling below the mountaintop, so we're going to lose our sunlight here pretty doggone quickly. That's all right. We can fish a little bit longer than that. We don't have to have sunlight to fish, that's for sure. It's just about to drop over that mountain there. It just gets dark too quick nowadays. I haven't fished in about 10 days down here on the pier, but I thought I'd come down and make a few throws. Just fed the deer. I had, I think, 11 or 12 there at the house, including TC and Forrest. As long as I've got TC and Forrest showing up every day, I feel really, really good about that. But I don't know if I'll get a bite out there or not. I'm gonna throw a jig out there and let it go down at the bottom. I don't know. Fishing that's about 20 foot deep out there. I'm throwing that mimic impersonator out there, letting it fall. This is how I was catching them before I went home to Sherry and Jack's for Christmas. And so I don't know if I can catch them. I don't know if I can catch them doing that right now or not. They were chasing shad. There were schools of big shad out there, and those fish were around under those shad. And I could see the gulls diving every now and then, and every now and then a fish would break out there, and the mimic impersonator worked great to get them. But I may have to throw a jig out there. They might be laying down on the bottom. I don't know if the water's got any colder or not, really. We've had all these 75 and 80 degree days. Today was another one. Supposed to be down in the teens for a cold over the weekend, and just in the, I think the 40s for the highs, maybe something like that. All right, I didn't get a bite on that. I threw that out there twice. Didn't get a bite, so they're probably not the way they were. So I'm gonna take me throw me a big jig out there. Let that baby go all the way to the bottom. 20 foot deep. I'm gonna let it go all the way to the bottom. You can see I don't have much line left on that reel. I'll go all the way down at the bottom. And then I'm gonna kind of crawl it across the bottom. Wiggle it every now and then just a little bit, but just move it, drop it, move it, drop it. Just see if maybe I can get a bite out there. Might not happen. You ever go fishing and you never got a bite? Does a bear live in the woods? This might be the time. But I hadn't made, this is only the third cast. Can't really. The sun's about to get below the mountain. Absolutely the perfect time to catch them. I'm sure they're eating right now. Don't know that for a fact. I just think they're eating right now. No bite on that cast, that's for sure. Kind of hard to come and make just a handful of casts and catch a fish, but sometimes you can do it. Sometimes you can do it. That's grass there. I knew it was grass, but I thought, what if it's a bass? When in doubt, whoop it out. That's it. Ooh. Down past the knot. Down past the knot. Yep. Well, it looks like we might not get a bite. But it was worth a shot, wasn't it? It was worth a shot. I need to throw one right straight out too. That's where I was catching them about a week or so ago. Ooh, I come through some brush out there. Ooh, I felt a little bit of brush or something out there. That should have been a spot to catch one. You can feel a little brush dragging across the bottom with your jig. That's a good spot. Golly. Ah, it come off. Ah, yeah. Fourth cast. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Doggone it. Boy, that was a good one too. Whoa. I might have had to lay down on my belly to get that fish. I don't know if I could have lifted him over because he was a heavy one. Doggone it. Doggone it. I hate it when that happens. He just, I don't know why he come off there. Gonna throw him back anyway. All right. We still got time. Make another cast or two. Throw right back out there in the same place because there was one there. I'm throwing all the way down to the knots while I'm getting a little bit of backlash there. That was a big one. That was a big one. There's one there. There ought to be another one. Golly, that was a good fish. When I hit him, he must have been going in the other direction because he about took the rod away from me. He about got my pole. I've had that happen, I have to admit. You hadn't had one jerk it out of your hands yet. You hadn't fished long enough. But by golly, they will. God, I can't believe I didn't keep that fish buttoned up. Man. Come on, give me one more chance. Surely he's got a buddy out there. Come on, Lucky Strike Jig. Let's have a little luck, buddy boy. Even a little one. We'll take a little one. Wrapped around my eye or something. That's kind of funny going on there. I think it's got a little knot in the line or something. Here's something going through there and it hangs on my eyes. Well, boys and girls, no fish. We've been fishing over 5 minutes. I had one chance and blew it. You know what they do when that happens? Change spots. You know how we change spots? We move just a little ways. We're gonna move right over to here. We're gonna move right here. We're gonna throw right out. I know a spot where there's a little piece of brush. I didn't know about that spot out there where that brush was. But you notice after I come through that, I finally got a bite. So, I'd bet money on that cast. I'd bet money on that cast. I wouldn't bet the farm, but I'd bet money on that cast. Anybody got a quarter? Anybody got a quarter? That bait down on the bottom. Drag it along there. Shake it, let them little tails move on that crawfish on the back of it. Move it off the bottom a little bit. It's looking good out there. Might be something looking at it right now. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Play with me. Just a bite. Ooh. Oh, man. All right, everybody send me a quarter. Everybody send me a quarter. Not the biggest fish in the pond. He's a good one, though. He's pretty good. Oh, my God, he is pretty good. Definitely not the smallest fish in the pond either. Pretty dang good fish. 5-pounder. Lift a 5-pounder over that rail. Boy, if that's a 5-pounder. Well, how big was that other one I lost? He must have been 7 or 8 pounds. That's a good one right there. Look at that big fish. That is a dandy. I told you. I wouldn't bet the farm, but I'd have bet a quarter. All right. Everybody send a quarter. I want a quarter. Oh, that makes me feel so good. Oh, been fishing about 10 minutes. We'll try one more right there in that same spot. I felt that brush, and when I felt that little piece of brush, I know that where that little piece of brush is. I found that little piece of brush. Boom! Boy, he just barely hit that thing. I mean, just barely hit it. I need to go down there and land them in that open spot down there instead of trying to lift them over this rail. That's kind of silly to do that right there. It's a wonder I didn't break this rod. There's the brush. I hit the brush. Every time I hit that brush, my heart stops because I know something might happen. I don't hit the brush on every cast, so when I hit the brush, I get excited about it. You know, on that jig, you can, once you get it past what you think is the optimal place for catching a fish, you can actually just swim it back. You know, we catch so many fish just swimming a jig. Just swimming that thing over the top. Of course, you get back kind of close to the dock, you're gonna find some grass also. You can swim it over the top of that grass. Might jump out of that grass and get it. I'm not sure that too many of them are down in that grass now. Most of them are out there in that open water. Trying to get out there as far as I can, seeing I let it fall, try to let it fall straight down as much as possible. All right, this is gonna be my last cast. Well, it might not be, but I'm gonna turn my camera off. I don't know how many casts I made, but I just let it run. It's a lot of fun to do that. The other day I did that and caught 8. That was amazing. I don't know. I'm not gonna have that happen very often. But I had a school out there that was chasing shad. They're not doing it now. They're down on the bottom, so you have to probably just the individual fish around little pieces of brush out there, a little piece of gravel or rocks, something that they can suspend over the top of or be down laying in. Bring that little jig by. They think that's a crawfish swimming around out there. This is gonna be my last cast. And I'm gonna turn this off. Might take my impersonator and throw it around out there a little bit more too. See if I might throw it out and let it go down kind of deep and then just swim it back in. Might as well, it's not dark yet. What is that hanging on? Oh. That grass felt really good. That's what the grass looks like right now. It's beautiful. Let's see how pretty and green it is. Beautiful, beautiful grass. Look at that. That's beautiful stuff. That's why we have so many fish. All right, I'll make one more cast. I'm gonna run my line through my fingers so I can feel what that knot is. I think it's just a little knot in the braid. This is braid. I'm not real big into using braid. This is the rod that my buddy Winston Tucker left here. No, I think Roland Martin left this rod and reel here. I think Roland left this one here. It had braid on it, so I just never have changed it. I just assumed, oh, that's what it is right there. No, it's where the lines are tied together. Yeah, they're tied together. It's not a knot, they're tied together right there. See that? This line's tied together. Hard to see it, isn't it? See there, it's tied together. That's what. Going through that. I think that's what I'm feeling. I don't seem like I was feeling a little closer back. Might be another spot in there. That's where it's tied together. That should go through. That's a great knot tied in there. It should. It shouldn't be hanging, really. That must have been, that's braid tied to braid is what it is. So must have been the line broke or something. It's not braid tied to mono or copolymer. That's braid tied to braid. Probably somebody broke the line right there and just tied it back together, which is fine. There's something coming through right there. That's a little knot right there. That's a little knot in the line right there. What that is, yeah, a little bitty knot. That's the one that's giving me trouble. That other one's going through it just fine. Okay, I'm gonna make one more cast. One more cast. I probably should have thrown a little bit more to the left there. That knot hanging on those little tiny guides out on the end. You gotta, if you tie a knot and it's these little tiny guides, you gotta have a pretty tiny knot. But that knot's not tied. That's a knot that's just got a loop in there and it's got a knot in the line. The knot that's tied together, that one's fine. It's going through the eyes just fine. Work that thing a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive with it. Sometimes get that thing going a little crazy down there. Turn those bass on. Oh, wasn't a fish, I don't think. I think I hit some brush. Okay, I'm gonna make one throw out here off the corner. That's gonna be my last throw, I promise. I promise it's gonna be my last throw. I promise, I promise, I promise, I promise. It's gonna be my last throw. I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom. I'm gonna catch one right there. I ain't gonna bet any money on that one. The other one I was really sure of. That's the only cast I bet on, you notice that? Yeah, only cast I bet on. I wouldn't bet on this one, but it's a pretty good spot right there. Ooh, hear that coyote? They start howling right now, about now, when that sun gets down. Have to get my crosshairs on him is what I'd like to do. I hate those coyotes. I'm hung up. I don't know what it was hung on. Like a big brush pile or something. Probably would have been a good place to catch a fish. Whatever it was hung up on. Okay, I'm gonna make one more cast. One more cast. I'm through. One more cast. This is it. One more cast. This is it. That's the very last one. No more cast. That's it. That's it. No more cast. Get down to the bottom. All right, come on, please. One more fish. Just one more. Please. Pretty please. With sugar on it. Just one more bite. Actually, I've had 2 bites. I lost one. That was probably a 10-pounder. There's some brush. Well, you're supposed to catch it when you get around that brush. No dice. Well, I guess that one big one was worth it. You know, I told you I might come pick my impersonator back up and throw it out there. Well, I did. Now, this is not the biggest champion in the world, but it's a crappie. I caught a crappie on my impersonator. Yeah, he's not a giant crappie, but he's pretty good size. Yeah, pretty nice crappie. Yeah, it's a good one on my mimic impersonator. Yeah. I was doing that sweeping technique when I caught that one. When I made that one last cast, I did warn you that I just might pick my rod and reel up, my other rod and reel, and throw that mimic around a little bit, because I only made 2 throws with it. That's all I made. 2 throws, and then I picked the jig up. So really, I probably should have made a few more throws with this. I just think those bass might be down on the bottom. They might not. They might be suspended. But that school of shad is probably not out there. There's like that out there the other day when I caught those. Get some good depth out of that baby. They can see it a long way off. Just wind that thing and let that baby wobble home. Wobble home like a old cold shad. That crappie hit that thing hard. I thought it was a little bitty tiny bass. Actually ended up being a pretty nice crappie. Not a giant crappie, but pretty nice. Plenty big enough for crappie fillets. That's for sure. In the grass now. Get back pretty close, you're gonna get in that grass. I'd like to hook that one that I lost. Hook that one that I lost on that jig, the first one that bit that thing. That's a big old fish. Well, you know what that is? That's 2 fish better than not catching any. In wintertime, you can go a lot of days and not get a bite. Sometimes you're looking at them with your live scope and you still don't get a bite. That's what's really spooky. I'm not looking at them here. I'm fishing without seeing them. But I know that they live in the water. Okay, that sure enough is my last cast. That was my last cast. Don't tell anybody I made one more. We'll go right back out there straight, because that's where I was catching them the other day. Right straight out, about 20 foot of water out there. Let that baby sink down several feet. Not all the way to the bottom. Several feet. Sweep it just a little bit. Let it fall. Sweep it a little bit. Let it fall. Oh, I see some shad right over there, I think. I don't know. I think it's just wind. I don't know. I don't know if that's some shad under the water. I don't think so. No. I think it's just wind. Yeah, that's just wind. Yeah, that's just wind. I'm gonna throw over there anyway. Never know, it might be a shad in the wind. Concentrating. Okay, I promise you this is going to be my last cast. I'm going to move right down here. I'm going to move right down here on the end. I'm going to move right down here on the end. I'm going to make one last cast. This is it. This is it. That's the very last throw right there. I'm going to throw out there. I'm not going to let it go down too deep. That may still be over the top of the grass. I'm not sure. So I'm not going to let it go too deep. And just kind of slow crawl that thing. Move my rod, speed it up. Let her fall a little bit. Speed it up. Let it fall. Speed it up. Sure would be nice to get a thump. Sure would be nice to get a thump. Thump, 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 thump. Thump it one time. No thump. Okay. All right, I'm quitting. I'm quitting. Oh. The devil grabbed my arm and made me throw it out there one more time. Ought to be something out there. Okay, I promise this is the very last one. I promise that's it. That's the very last cast. Because I'm going to catch a fish on this cast, and that's going to be my very last cast. I'm going to catch one on this cast. If I'm going to, I better hurry. Well, if they ever ask it, does Jimmy catch them every time? The answer would be, no, he doesn't catch them every time. But I caught two. So I guess that counts better than nothing. And lost a giant. I'm telling you, that other one I had was Big Daddy Mama. I'm talking about a Big Daddy Mama. That guy was. Oh man, looky here. Looky here. This, I got grass. That was some floating grass at the coots of that grass that was on my imitator. Now, you know what that means? Do you know what that means? Do you really know what that means? It means that because of the grass, that cast did not count. The cast did not count because of that grass. That's what that means. So I had to make another throw. That was really my last throw. This is really the same throw because that cast does not count since it had grass on it. And it had grass on it from pretty far out there, really. You know, you get grass right up here around the dock, that don't hardly count. But when it had grass way out there, that eliminates that cast. I really can't hardly count this cast either because I didn't throw in the same spot. I didn't throw out there in the good spot where I... Oh, God, I got a bite right there. Ah, I got a bite right there. All right, this is, I promise this is the last cast. This is it. This video's over. A whole big long video. 2 fish, a big bass, a medium-sized crappie, pretty decent crappie, and a giant bass got away. A giant bass got away. And that's it, nothing else. And this is my last cast. Well, I'm giving them every opportunity. You stupid bass. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you stupid bass. You were very, very intelligent, smart, good-looking, beautiful bass. Bite my bait. Okay, that's it. No more throws. No more throws. Whoop! It slipped. It slipped. I'm sorry. It just slipped. I'm gonna throw over the top of the grass just once or twice and just wind it back in. I'm not sweeping. I'm not dropping it down deep. Just winding it back over the top of the grass.